Hey, Dub Nation. Before we start, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on the Golden State Warriors. Here you'll stay on top of everything with breaking news, in-depth analysis, and behind-the-scenes coverage of the team. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing this incredible content to you. Now let's get to what really matters. There's a lot happening with the Warriors. Stephen Curry is back, and the impact was immediate. At 37 years old, he remains the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors. But what happened in this game proves that his influence goes far beyond statistics. He's not just an elite scorer, he's a leader who changes the team's mindset. After 2 consecutive losses without Curry, the Warriors returned to dominance. By the third quarter, they had a comfortable 86-60 lead over the San Antonio Spurs. Even without putting up spectacular numbers, 13 points, hitting 4 of 7 shots, his mere presence on the court transformed the game. It's impressive how everything works better with him in action. The players looked more confident, ball movement flowed naturally, and the defense showed renewed intensity. This becomes even more crucial at this point in the regular season, where every win can shape the team's playoff race. However, a major concern arose during the game. Jonathan Kuminga suffered a worrisome injury, playing just 7 minutes before going down and leaving the court. Shortly after, the team confirmed he would not return due to right ankle soreness, raising a serious red flag. Kuminga has already missed a significant portion of the season with a similar issue. Now, at one of the most decisive moments of the year, he faces another setback. This could directly affect the team's depth and rotation in the playoffs. Without him, Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green will have to take on even bigger roles, both defensively and offensively. The big question is, can the team maintain the same competitive level without such a crucial piece? By the way, if you follow the Warriors and want to stay updated on everything happening with the team, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We bring you news, analysis, and the biggest stories from the NBA. Your support is essential to keep this content going. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Can the Warriors stay strong without Kuminga? Now back to the topic. The Warriors had been on an upward trend since the arrival of Jimmy Butler. In the 19 games after his addition, the team showed high-level basketball and looked ready to compete for a title. But now, without Kuminga, adjustments will be necessary. How will Steve Kerr handle this absence? Who could step up in this situation? Could it be time for Moses Moody or Gary Payton II to take on bigger roles? Or will Kerr adopt a more defensive strategy to compensate for the loss of such a versatile player? The challenge now is finding the balance between defense and offense. Kuminga provides crucial athleticism, especially in fast breaks and on the defensive end against opposing wings. Without him, the Warriors will need to adjust their rotation and strategically distribute minutes between starters and bench players. Additionally, the team's offensive performance could take a hit, demanding even more from Curry and other key players. This is the moment where the championship mentality needs to prevail. The final stretch of the season is heating up, and any misstep could be crucial. Can the Warriors keep up the pace without Kuminga? Could his absence be a decisive factor for the team in the final phase of the season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This could change everything for the Golden State Warriors. While the team deals with this situation, a major trade rumor is swirling, a potential blockbuster move that could bring a new star to play alongside Stephen Curry. But would this trade actually strengthen the team? And there's one key detail that makes this deal even more controversial. Before diving into this potential move, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue bringing the biggest NBA news. Now let's get straight to the point. The Warriors remain active in the trade market. According to Mike Dunleavy Jr., the front office is evaluating all possibilities to strengthen the roster before the February 6th trade deadline. But one thing is certain. The franchise doesn't intend to mortgage its future with a rushed move. The big question is, how far are the Warriors willing to go to bring in an all-star caliber player to pair with Curry? Dan Favale of Bleacher Report suggested a trade that could shake up the league. The proposal involves sending Andrew Wiggins to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Zach LaVine. But that's not all. The deal would also include Kevon Looney, Gary Payton II, and second-round picks in the 2026 and 2028 drafts. In return, the Warriors would receive LaVine, a player who could bring more ball handling and scoring power to the offense. But is this the best move for the Warriors? According to Favale, financially, the trade makes sense. LaVine is under contract for $138 million over the next 3 years, and the proposed deal would balance the salaries. But the real question is he worth the investment? After all, the Warriors still need to consider future contract extensions for Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. In other words, this move could impact the team's long-term financial flexibility. And one more thing. If LaVine was such a hot commodity on the market, why hasn't he been traded yet? Now, let's analyze the positives. LaVine is a reliable shot creator, which could take some pressure off Curry. In Chicago, he averaged 24.2 points, 4.3 assists, and 4.7 rebounds, with great shooting efficiency from both 2- and 3-point range. His scoring ability could add a new dynamic to the Warriors' offense and provide a consistent offensive option. But there's a problem. LaVine is not an elite defender. The Warriors have always prioritized a strong and collective defensive system. If this trade happens, the team would need to find a way to compensate for Wiggins' departure, as he is one of their best perimeter defenders. This could require significant tactical adjustments, as Kerr's system is based on constant movement and solid defense. Another crucial factor is fit within the team's playing style. The Warriors have a well-defined system, and any new player needs to integrate quickly. LaVine is used to a more isolation-heavy offense with the Bulls. Would he be able to adapt to Kerr's philosophy without disrupting team chemistry? There's also the issue of timing. Curry is still playing at an elite level, but the Warriors can't afford to waste another season without giving him a strong enough roster to compete for a title. The franchise needs to be cautious, but also can't afford to wait too long. Would this trade be the right move? Or would it create more problems than solutions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The possible trade for Zach LaVine raises more questions than answers for the Warriors. On one hand, the team would be adding a reliable scorer, someone who can take the pressure off Stephen Curry and bring a new dimension to the offense. But on the other hand, they would lose defensive pillars and have to deal with contractual issues that could compromise the franchise's future. And that leads us to another fundamental point. What is the Golden State Warriors' true priority at this moment? The team has to decide whether it is still betting on the idea of competing now or if it should start thinking about a transition for the future. Curry is still playing at a high level, but there is no ignoring the fact that he is in the final years of his prime, and that puts the front office at a crossroads. If the priority is to maximize the chances of winning another title while Curry is still at his best, does it make sense to consider trading for LaVine? Or should the Warriors look for an addition that fits better into the team's system, someone who brings immediate impact without compromising the defense as much? And there's one detail that makes everything even more complicated. If the Warriors truly believe they can compete right now, is Zach LaVine the right player for that? He has a history of injuries that cannot be ignored. This season, he has already missed a significant number of games due to physical issues, and his adaptation to the Warriors system would not be instant. While the team is still fighting for a play-in spot and needs consistency to enter the playoffs in strong form, is this the right time to make such a risky bet? Now let's look at another factor that could completely change the team's plans: the available options on the market. The Warriors don't necessarily need to focus solely on LaVine. There are other players who could be more accessible and still bring the necessary impact to strengthen the roster. Versatile players who can contribute on both ends of the floor without compromising the defense as much. And speaking of defense, it's impossible to ignore Kevon Looney's impact on the team. He may not be a player who stands out in scoring statistics, but his work on rebounds and rim protection is essential. Losing Looney in a trade like this could create problems beyond just the exchange of points. He is a reliable player, accustomed to the system, and always elevates his game in the most important moments of the season. Who would take on that role if he were included in the deal? Another point that needs to be analyzed is team chemistry. The Golden State Warriors have always been a team that values continuity and collective identity. Introducing a new player in the middle of the season could lead to an adjustment period, and any loss of rhythm could be costly at this crucial stage. This raises the question, wouldn't it be safer to bet on the development of the players already on the roster? Jonathan Kuminga, before his injury, was improving and becoming a decisive factor for the team. Moses Moody is another name who could get more playing time and help the team without the need for a major trade. With an adjusted rotation, does the team already have everything it needs to compete in the postseason? Looking at the standings, the Warriors need a consistent stretch to secure a favorable position in the playoffs or play-in. Every loss matters, and every win could make a difference in the final standings, and that makes each decision even more delicate. Is it worth taking the risk of drastically changing the roster at this moment? On the other hand, if the Warriors do nothing, they might be wasting one of Curry's last great seasons. The front office needs to find a balance between strengthening the team now and not compromising the future. But that is no easy task. The Warriors' situation is a true dilemma. On one hand, there is a need to strengthen the roster immediately to give Curry the necessary support in the final stretch of the season. On the other hand, any rushed move could compromise not only the present, but also the future of the team. And that is exactly why the front office's decision cannot be made solely based on the desperation of an inconsistent season. Thinking long-term, the Warriors need to define what their next big step as a franchise will be. With Curry still playing at a high level, the championship window remains open, but for how long? And more importantly, what will be the role of players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody in this transition? Are the Warriors ready to invest in them as key pieces for the future? Or will they use these young talents as trade assets to bring in a new star? And if the team decides to keep the roster as it is, can head coach Steve Kerr maximize each player's potential to compensate for the team's limitations? Kuminga's absence, for example, forces Kerr to find alternatives to keep the team competitive. This could mean changes in the rotation, defensive adjustments, and even a new tactical approach. But will that be enough to face direct Western Conference rivals like the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, and Los Angeles Lakers? Another factor that cannot be ignored is the financial aspect. LaVine's salary is high and would compromise the franchise's flexibility for the coming years. Moreover, if the trade doesn't work out, the Warriors would be stuck with a hefty contract, making future market moves difficult. That would be a huge risk for a team already struggling to maintain competitiveness without exceeding the NBA's salary cap limits. Speaking of market moves, there are other options the Warriors could consider. Maybe they don't need to go after a player of LaVine's caliber, but rather a targeted reinforcement, someone who can contribute effectively without compromising the team's defense and chemistry. Names like Alex Caruso, Jerami Grant, or even DeJounte Murray have been speculated at different times. These are players who could fit better into the team's playing style without requiring a complete overhaul of the rotation. The truth is, the Warriors need to act wisely. The Western Conference is becoming increasingly competitive, and every mistake can be costly. If the team wants to return to the top, it must find a balance between maintaining its identity and making the necessary adjustments to stay in the fight. The world of basketball is buzzing with rumors that could shake up the future of the NBA. According to reliable sources, the Golden State Warriors are quietly working to secure the signing of Kai Sotto, the talented Filipino center, for the 2025 season. If this deal goes through, it would not only be a technical boost for the team, but also a historic milestone for Filipino basketball and the globalization of the NBA. Standing at 18 meters tall, Kai Sotto is a player who naturally commands attention on any court. But what really stands out about him is not just his height, but the rare combination of skills he brings to the game. As a defender, his wingspan and reaction time are impressive, making him an excellent rim protector. However, it is in his offensive versatility where he truly excels. Unlike traditional centers who tend to play closer to the basket, Kai has a reliable mid-range shot, something highly valued in modern basketball. This ability to stretch the floor is one of the factors that have caught the attention of NBA scouts. Kai Sotto's journey so far is a story of overcoming challenges and determination. Born in the Philippines, a country where basketball is more than a sport but a national passion, he started to stand out at a very young age. His talent quickly caught attention, and it soon became clear that he needed to seek bigger challenges to grow. That's when, still a teenager, he decided to leave his homeland to compete in international leagues, marking the beginning of a journey that would take him to various parts of the world. His first big experience in professional basketball came in the NBL, the Australian League, where he had the chance to face experienced opponents and prove that he could compete at a high level. During his time there, Kai showed that he was not just a promising talent, but a player capable of influencing games on both sides of the court. His defensive presence and offensive ability turned heads, solidifying his reputation as one of the most promising young centers. After this experience, he moved on to Japan's B League, where he continued to evolve as a player. In Japan, he became a key player for his team, accumulating solid performances and earning more and more space. More than just an athlete, Kai became a true ambassador of Filipino basketball, showing the world that players from his homeland have the talent to shine on the global stage. His presence in the Japanese league further strengthened his name among NBA scouts, increasing the chances that he would finally get an opportunity in the world's premier basketball league. Now, with the possibility of joining the Golden State Warriors, the question is, how would Kai Sotto fit into the team? The Warriors are known for their fast and dynamic style of play, based on constant movement and accurate long-distance shooting. However, one of the gaps the team has shown in recent years is the lack of a dominant center, someone who can consistently protect the rim and contribute offensively beyond the pick-and-roll game. Kai Sotto has exactly the profile that could fill this need. His ability to collect rebounds would be a great asset for the team, especially in the defensive sector, where the Warriors need to improve their presence in the paint. Additionally, his shot-blocking ability could transform the team's defense, making it even more solid and efficient. Offensively, the fact that he can space the floor and shoot from mid-range would add a new dimension to the Warriors' game, creating more space for the guards and wings to shine. But Kai Sotto's potential arrival with the Warriors goes far beyond the technical impact. If this deal goes through, it will be a historic event for the Filipino community around the world. The Bay Area, where the Warriors are based, has one of the largest Filipino populations outside of the Philippines, meaning Kai's presence on the team would create a special connection with this community. For many fans, seeing him wear the Warriors jersey wouldn't just be a source of pride, but also a symbol of representation and inclusion in the NBA. Signing Kai would also open doors for a new wave of Filipino fans to follow the team more closely, further strengthening the franchise's already solid global engagement. This wouldn't just be a smart move in terms of marketing, but a genuine way to bring the team closer to a fan base that is incredibly passionate about basketball. And it doesn't stop there. Kai Sotto is not only a talented player, but also a charismatic young man who is extremely popular on social media. His impact goes beyond the court, and his presence in the NBA would certainly attract attention from sponsors and brands looking to expand their presence in Asia. The Warriors, who already have a strong global identity, could benefit from this factor, further boosting their international relevance. Filipino basketball has always had great talents, but few have had a real chance in the NBA. If Kai Sotto gets this opportunity and establishes himself in the league, he could open doors for future generations of Filipino players, proving that there is space for athletes from his homeland to compete at the highest level. His success could inspire a new generation of young players, showing that it's possible to dream big and reach the biggest stages in world basketball. Kai Sotto's possible move to the Golden State Warriors is still not confirmed, but the rumors are already enough to excite fans. If this deal goes through, we'll not only have an important reinforcement for the team, but also a historic moment for global basketball. Now, all we can do is wait and see what the future holds for this talented Filipino center. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It helps the channel a lot and shows that you want more content like this. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Thanks and see you in the next video.